What is going on, Future Focus Nation? My name is George and I talk about finance and investing on this channel. And today I want to talk to you all about how to invest now that the Democrats have the Senate, they have the House of Representatives, and now that there's also a Democratic president. See, there's a lot of pessimism in the market, not knowing what's going to happen next. A lot of investors are looking at Biden and the policies that he's talked about raising capital gains. And he's talked about, being very strict on corporate America. And that can have some negative implications on the stock market. But Jim Cramer, there's something that he always says, and he says, there's always a bull market somewhere. And I firmly believe that. Even when in the March lows, when there was, everything was down, there were still stocks that were up. In 2008, when everything else was crashing, in the dot-com bubble, when everything else was crashing, there's always something going up. And we just have to look deep in there and find it. So what we're going to talk about today is one specific sector that you guys should invest in. This is going to be a part of a series where every series I go into a sector and I give you a few stocks inside that sector that correspond with how to invest now that there's a blue wave in the market. With all that said, let's get into it. Now we're going to talk about the sector that we're going to go through. All right. Then we're going to talk about the specific policy and the reason that I chose that sector. And then we're going to go through three stocks that I've chosen for this specific sector. All right. So clean energy revolution. The policy that Biden has brought into fruition is by the end of his first term, he's going to put us on an irreversible path to achieve economy-wide net zero emissions no later than 2050. Biden will invest $400 billion over 10 years as one part of a broad mobilization of public investment in clean energy and innovation. Biden will set a target of reducing the carbon footprint of the U.S. building stock 50% by 2035, creating incentives for deep retrofits that combine appliance electrification, efficiency, and on-site clean power generation. He will work with our nation's governors and mayors to support the deployment of more than 500,000 new public charging outlets by the end of 2030. Now, this is really great because there's a lot of companies out there that fall into this, but a lot of people are already into these stocks. They're already deep into the EV market. We've seen Tesla go over 700% in 1 year. We've seen stocks like NIO. I was lucky enough to jump into NIO when it was at $3 and, it's now at $60 a share. So there's been a lot of upside, but where can we find opportunity? So these stocks that I've chosen is stocks that I feel are not totally getting overlooked, but I think they're very undervalued. The first one I'm going to talk about is MP Materials, ticker MP. This has been one that I've talked about previously, and I'm still very bullish on this company. So what is it? So MP starts, it's Mountain Pass. That's what the MP stands for. It is a one-of-a-kind world-class asset consisting of a fully integrated and co-located mining and processing capabilities. The self-contained nature of our operations with mining, milling, separations, and finishing all on one site afford a significant cost advantages and mitigates operational risks. It contains more than 800,000 tons of recoverable rare earth oxides with an average 8% ore grade, one of the highest quality known deposits in the world. So what this company does is not only mines, but it builds these magnets, and these magnets are very important in everyday appliances, and we're going to go through those. The real reason that I'm bullish on this is because as of right now, China controls about 90% of the entire supply chain for these rare earth metals. Now, MP Materials is the only company in the Western Hemisphere that has access to these materials. And that is why I'm very, very bullish on this company. So what do they power? Automotive, clean energy, military, and digital technologies. Let's take a deeper dive into these. All right, so in automotive, these NdFeB magnet They power electric motors. They power cooling water and oil pumps, AC compressors, power seats, power folding side mirrors. But more, besides all of that, the real reason I'm bullish on just the automotive side of it is because no matter, there's hydrogen vehicles out there like Hyliion, there's other vehicles like Tesla that are electric. No matter which one of these are the ones that end up being the solution, a company like MP Materials has to be a part of it because they have assets that all of these companies need, no matter what part, which way we end up going in the future. Clean energy. The wind turbine market is anticipated to account for 30% of the global growth in the US of rare earth magnets from 2015 to 2025. Again, this company is invested because all of these components that go into making all these things, they need these rare earth metals. And right now we're getting them from China. So if we can cut that price because we can get it from somewhere close to the continental United States, then it'll save us a lot of money in the supply chain, and it'll take more power away from China and bring more power back to us. It'll make it cheaper for companies like Tesla, Nikola, Hyliion to buy these, to make these assets. Military, all right? So things like guidance and control systems, communication, and electric motors are all in need of these rare earth metals. Then you have technologies inside your cell phone. You have the vibration motor, the LED screen, speakers, glass polishing, and electrical, the components that make up the electrics inside of it. They all have these rare earth metals. So you can see why I'm so bullish on this company. As of right now, this stock is sitting at around $31 a share. I started purchasing this in November. That's when I put out the last video about this company. It had just come public about a week prior to that. The stock was trading around $16. I've been buying at 16. I've been buying at 20. I'm very, very bullish on this company. The next company I'm going to talk about is not an American company, but because of the policies that Biden is going to put into play, there's going to be companies that are not American that are going to profit as well. And this is one company that I feel has gotten really overlooked because it's not an American company and it doesn't trade on the New York Stock Exchange. So this one is ticker symbol CNIKF. All right, this is one of the top 10 nickel sulfide resources globally with significant expansion potential. Nickel appears to be entering a super cycle, which occur every 15 to 20 years. Nickel has limited investable opportunities. Prior super cycle in 2005 to 2007 largely emptied project pipeline outside of Indonesia. So Canada Nickel Company has a pipeline out of Indonesia. And what they're trying to say with that was that in 2005 and 2007, so much nickel was being used that they ran out of the supply. And that's not a bad problem to have. When you have not enough supply to give your customers, that's when the prices go up. And that's when the company really, really makes money. So having a low limited amount of supply is never a problem. It's more of a problem when you have a lot of supply and not enough people buying it. So just think about that. Prices should remain at relatively high levels for an extended period to incent new supply to meet already strong demand growth, further accelerated by substantial requirements from electric vehicles. Same thing that MP Materials has. We talked about that. Canada Nickel owns 100% of the Crawford Nickel Cobalt Sulfide project, a new nickel discovery with large-scale potential in establishing mining camp adjacent to existing infrastructure north of Timmins, Ontario, Canada. So this is what really shined light for me on this company. It was something that Elon Musk had talked about. He quoted here, "Our cell should be called nickel graphite because primarily the cathode is nickel. The anode side is graphite with silicon oxide." And he even went on to say that any mining companies out there, please mine more nickel, okay? Wherever you are in the world, please mine more nickel. Go for efficiency as environmentally friendly nickel mining at high volume. Tesla will give you a giant contract for a long period of time if you mine nickel efficiently and in an environmentally sensitive way. Please get nickel. This was something that he said during one of his conference calls. And this company actually replied to him, and he replied back to them saying, we'll talk. So this was in July 22nd of 2020. So this is recent. All right. This here just shows the demand of nickel compared to other metals and other precious metals out there. So it's up there with, stainless steel. You see copper is not even wanted as much. And the price of copper is super high. The price of lead is super high right now. So this is a great depiction of how much nickel is needed. All these electric companies out there right now, NIO, Tesla, then you got Apple that's talking about coming out with an electric vehicle. You have GM. All these electric vehicles need this nickel. So just keep that in mind. All right, so this is one of the latest things that came out. This was published on the 14th, and they came out with a memorandum of understanding with one of the tribes out there. And it was basically to be able to do things on their land. And these are just some of the things that the tribes there said. Our community favors a development project like Canada Nickels that provides a positive economic impact, minimal environmental impacts, with a commitment to deliver net zero products, and has the foresight to engage with the Taikwa Tagamu during the early stages of development. That was from one of the chiefs. So as you can see, they even have support in the local community, which is great. Their stock price is currently trading at 177. It's been as high as 195. I think this company as of right now is a steal because of, a lot of people haven't heard about it. There's not a lot of traffic going through it. This is the last 3 months of volume. As you can see, it hasn't really done anything crazy. It's been going up incrementally lately, but just take a look here. This is a very, very appealing one. Lastly, I want to talk about a company named STEM. This is an energy superintelligence, ticker symbol STPK, because this is a SPAC company. When they IPO, when they do the merger and they become public, they'll be ticker symbol STEM. So STEM provides solutions that address the challenges of today's dynamic energy market. By combining advanced energy storage solutions with Athena, which is a product that they have, a world-class artificial intelligence powered analytics platform, STEM enables customers and partners to optimize energy by automatically switching between battery power, on-site generation, and grid power. So what this is doing right here is basically forming a chain where I power my house with this, and whatever I don't use, I send it back to the grid. And is a way to save wastefulness and save me money, and also provide a big grid for everybody can get energy out of it. Athena is just the mind behind what controls how much energy you're getting, how much energy a business is getting. So let's dive deeper into it. All right, so this is the first pure play smart energy storage company to go public in the US. So they have the first to market advantage. It has a large addressable market, strong macro tailwinds. When we talk about macro, we talk about the big economic landscape, not just the small micro. We talk about the big macro, which is very important. Battery storage capacity expected to increase by 25 times by 2030. It's a market leader with best-in-class technology. It has a balance sheet position to capitalize on growth. We'll take a look a little bit at that, but basically they have zero debt, which is always huge. They have high visible growth. Reoccurring revenue streams provide strong financial position to accelerate growth. Revenues projected to grow at 51%. Think about that. All right, so this is how it works. They have the hardware and network integration. These are all the things that they build, and this is like the big grid that they maintain. Tier 1 standards. Then they have Athena, which is the brain behind all of it. And then they have market participation, which is everybody that participates in this, whether it be a retail or whether it be a big chain, which you're going to see some of the ones that already work with them. But we all help each other out. Smart energy storage drives the grid transformation. Lower energy cost, stabilizes the grid, reduces carbon emissions, solves intermittency, and creates VPPs and storage networks. All right, so these are the things that we're going to see: renewables, like the solar panels, energy storage, technology, supply chains and logistics, EV infrastructure, electric vehicles, transportation technology, and food technology. And again, with the current policies that are going to be placed with the Democratic Party, they're going to be big on all of these things right here. And this company is reaching them all. All right, so Athena's AI platform is built on a 3rd generation and 10 years of data experience, which it just keeps growing and growing in every generation. And every single day it learns more. What is it learning? It's learning how much power one person is using, and it takes all this data and comprises it, and it becomes more efficient every single month. So in generation 1, 2009 to 2015, it was 5 years inventing the market. So it was creating the market. Gen 2 was 2016 to 2018, and it was 2 years of commercial growth. This was the first municipal storage, the first CNI storage in Arizona. So this is when they're building the structure after they created the market. And Gen 3, 2019 to current day, we've been accelerating growth. First STEM as a service, serving 40 utilities and markets, delivering multiple streams in the Ontario market, partnering with solar, IPP, and energy market, supplying backup power. So here we go. They have 360 customers currently, but out of those 360, because it doesn't sound like much, 30 of those customers are Fortune 500 customers. So they have customers like Walmart, FedEx, these big consumers that utilize a lot of this power. 16 million system runtime hours, 40 utility partners like the electric companies. They have 75 permitting jurisdictions. They also have about 20, I think it was 20 patents that they have personal. So that's great. Currently, their stock is sitting at about 31.36. It has dropped from a high of around 37.50. And I think this is a prime time to grab it. This is another stock that I feel can multiply by 3 times. All these stocks have a lot of upside. I think this one could multiply. You could get 3x on this one easily because they're still growing, and they're growing every year at an accelerated growth. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but this one right here is something to look out for, especially leading up to the day that they come public. So after looking at that and looking at one way to invest into now that we have this blue wave, I want to know what you guys think. Is there any other energy plays that any of you have that, we might be able to research and benefit from? If you do, please put those in the comment below. We'd love to read them. Please drop a like if you got something out of this. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe. It costs you nothing to subscribe, literally. So please press that subscribe button. Look forward to more videos like this. This is part of a series. I'm going to come out. The next sector I'm going to touch on is probably going to be a secret. And with all that said, until next time.